प्रणाम, नमस्कार, हार्दिक अभिनंदन। श्री गणेशाय नमः। सर्व मंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्य त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। I am Rudra Deo Jha, MA in English Literature, retired lecturer, Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Araria. Hailing from Madanpur, Madneshwar Dham, nearby Araria, Bihar. I am going to articulate my view on and about Swami Vivekananda, his principles and doctrines that he propounded or championed. He was my ideal. He deserved my attention. He commanded my respect and praise. There is a translation in Latin. A good and well-deserved reputation rests on proper display of ability. I am reminded of world-famed dramatist Shakespeare. In his words, some are born great, some try to achieve greatness, some have greatness thrust upon them. Obviously, Swami Vivekananda was born great. Now I have to shed a light on his life, birth and character. He was born on 12 January 1863 in a middle-class Bengali family. The name of his father was Mr. Vishwanath Dutt, an eminent advocate, Calcutta High Court. The name of his mother was Mrs. Bhubaneswari Devi. She was a pious lady, a great devotee of Lord Shiva. Several years children were not born to her, so she prayed Lord Shiva to bless her with a son. Luckily, she was blessed with a son. But the name of his childhood was Narendra. Naren was genius and very naughty. Sometimes even mother felt disgusted and she turned up before Lord Shiva, stating, "O Lord, I prayed you to bless me with a son, but instead of you sent me one of your Bhoot and Baital." But boy was promising and was destined to make a mark in life. Once an incident took place that changed his life. In those days, British administration was imposed in the nation. W.H. Hastie, one of his professors, Department of English, was teaching a poem by William Wordsworth, eminent English poet on nature, in which the word ecstasy crept in. Professor had advice in store. He dispersed his advice in order to make you understand the exact meaning of the word ecstasy. You are advised to leap for Dakshineshwar and come under the influence of contact of Sri Ramakrishna, great devotee of Mother Kali. Being Vivekananda, being accompanied by his friends that he had hand in glove with, we were living. Finally, he reached Dakshineshwar and had a talk with Sri Ramakrishna. At his first attempt, he was not impressed by Vivekananda and did not find anything miraculous with him. Rather, he dismissed him as a madman bordering in a state of insanity. But one thing was clear: Sri Ramakrishna devotion, his childlike devotion, character, and above all, his direct answer of the questions being put by Vivekananda touched his heart. It sank in his heart. A new relationship was being formed and it was welded later on. Swami Vivekananda's speeches and writings are marked by their directness of appeal to the human head and heart. He does not preach otherworldliness, but a right and refined spiritually word. It seemed as if earth could be changed from a curse to a blessing. Another incident had a great importance in his life. He came to know about Parliament of Religions to be held at Chicago in US. Since he was poor, he was economically assisted by his friends who loved him, and by Rajas and Maharajas of different provinces of India. Finally, he set out to USA with a paper credential, a paper by which he has to claim what he happens to be. But unluckily, he lost his paper. The paper was lost. Lastly, he reached US and was exhausted. He sat at a platform uttering, "How deliverance are the ways of Lord." When opposite to the platform there was a palatial building being owned by a brilliant and cultured lady, Mrs. L. When she heard it, she chuckled. She noticed that although his clothes were crumpled and dirty, yet there was an air of royal dignity about his face and personality. Crossing the street, she came and asked to Vivekananda in equal politeness, "Sir, are you a delegate to the Parliament of Religion?" She was answered in equal politeness in fluent educated English. Mrs. Hale was impressed. Finally, she invited him cordially to come, take bath, dine, make beard, and put himself at ease and rest. Vivekananda accepted the invitation. When we start analyzing Vivekananda, we find two words are here. Vivek means discrimination, what is right and what is wrong. And Anand means divine bliss that we can have after we come in spiritual communion with Almighty Father, Father of the universe. About Swami Vivekananda, once his Professor W. Hasty remarked, "Although I have travelled far and wide, but I have never come across a lad of his talents. He is bound to make a mark in life. Whatever he predicted came out true." He presented himself at the platform of Chicago. Since unmatched scholars came from different parts of the different nations of the world with eloquent speech and full address, Vivekananda had done. At the first call, he refused to speak, as he mentioned in the letter that he addressed to his friend of West Bengal and Tamil Nadu, that in those days he was suffering from stage fright. Later on, at the second call, he summoned up courage and rose to his feet like a big cat lion. Remembering Mata Kali and Gurudev Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sardamani, and addressed to the mammoth in a deep voice, "My dear brothers and sisters," for which the clapping followed for 2 minutes. The English danced wildly. It was only Vivekananda who addressed in this way and took entire humanity as the children of the same family. A kind of humanity was echoed there completely. In England, he won the admiration of great ones like Professor Max Muller, Mrs. Annie Besant, and Mrs. Margaret Noble, who was later known as Sister Nivedita, Swami Vivekananda's eminent daughter. Vivekananda was the first Indian who left no stone unturned in raising the status and dignity of India into the eyes of the Westerners. Before that, India's impression was very shaky and miserable in the eyes of Westerners. They took Indians and India as the land of snake charmers and superstition. Now they had to change their views. From 10th chapter Srimad Bhagavad Gita, "Aham sarvasya prabhu mattah sarvavartate iti mattva bhajante ma buddha bhav samannita." At 18th chapter, "Brahmbhuta prasannatma na sochati na thanchati samam sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhakti labte para." यहाँ मैं अजीम शायर मजनू सुल्तानपुरी का एक वाक्य का नजरी समझूंगा। "चश्मे बदूर गरखुश करो कामत होगी, आज फितना है चंद रोज में कयामत होगी, as it proved in the case of Swami Vivekananda. Since he worked hard and harder, his health deteriorated, or on 4th July 1902, at the age of 39, he succumbed to death. And the world from end to end by devotion, magnetic personality, the message of spirituality. He will not be remembered only by the present generation, but even by the generation yet unborn. His principles and doctrines, such as once Vivekananda told, he is an atheist who does not believe in himself. An atheist is better than a hypocrite. Until we give up our thirst after life, our strong attachment to this transient conditioned existence, we have no hope of catching even a single glimpse of that infinite freedom beyond. Every good thought that we send to the world, without thinking of any return, will be stored up and break one link in the chain and make us feeder until we become finished of mortals, he said. No work is petty, even the greatest fool can accomplish a task if it be after his heart, but the most intelligent man is he who can convert every work into one that suits to his taste. All our great achievements are fraught with numerous impediments, still you should exert your utmost for attaining your goal. History of the world is the history of humans who are tracking themselves. That track calls out the divinity within. You can't do anything, you fail only when you don't step sufficiently to manifest infinite power. As soon as a man or a nation loses faith in himself, death comes. So believe first in yourself, then in God. To conclude, by Swami Vivekananda, India is immortal if she persists in truth. Satyamev Jayate. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.